Well, hello, community. Well, happy Wednesday. Thank you so much for joining us today. Listen, sure, we have a sound. If you can hear us, please type it in the comments. Tell me where you are watching. I just double checking here to ensure we are live. We are live on LinkedIn, Facebook. We are in our digital platform as well as on digital YouTube community. So if you are watching this, please let us know. We love to be able to send you a shout out. We have a very intentional webinar today for our Coast Guard community and for, of course, for everyone. I'm Laura Torres from Blue Star Careers. And remember, these webinars are designed to connect our members with job opportunities, partnerships, and career pathways, while also raising awareness of the latest resources and connections from our program. We are in August and we're kicking off our summer of learning here at the Blue Star Careers community in the neighborhood. Check it out. We have over 15 different partners who are offering free, no cost um, training opportunities, certifications, little bite sized upskilling options just on time before hiring season next fall. Our host for this webinar is Aurora Tallent, who is our military spouse circle of influence Coast Guard leader. She welcomes Andrea Bowen, who is also a work life supervisor for the United States Coast Guard in the Southeast region. So, without further ado, let's begin. Let's welcome them both, and they're going to lead these very intentional discussions. Please post your questions. If you are Coast Guard, let us know that you are here supporting. Also, tag your community and then, yeah, pay it forward. Let's begin.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for our Military Spouse Circle of Influence Coast Guard webinar discussion powered by Target. Remember, this, of course, is open to all military spouses, but we are definitely honing in on those benefits for Coast Guard spouses. So if you know a Coastie, please tag them in the comments and have them watch it later. And let us know if you're watching live where you're stationed from. We'd love to hear what questions you have as well. And I hope everybody's excited for a fantastic webinar. So let's get started. Today, we are thrilled to welcome Andrea Bowen. She's the Work-Life Supervisor for the United States Coast Guard Southeast District, located in Miami Beach. She has 25 years of experience as an Air Force brat, an Army veteran, and a Navy spouse. And she definitely knows what it takes to support military families. So please give her a warm welcome in the comments. So Andrea, thank you again for being here today. Please go ahead and just introduce yourself to us and describe your military connection and what your career trajectory has been like.
Thank you for having me, Aurora. And thank you for all those that are out there listening. As she said, my name is Andrea Bowen. I am a social worker, Army veteran, Navy spouse, and I've worked with family programs with DoD and the Coast Guard for over 20 years now. I'm also a Marine Corps mom, so I've experienced military family programs from every aspect, and I love it. It's a passion that I have. And so I'm glad to be able to provide some information to all of you out there this afternoon. So I'm going to begin by telling you about what we do with the Coast Guard family programs. First of all, with the Southeast District, we cover Georgia, South Carolina, Florida, and the Caribbean. I like to say we have one of the best districts. We have perfect weather all year round. Some of the programs that we have are the Ombudsman Program, which I'm sure all of you are already familiar with. The Ombudsman Program is the same as the different family programs that they have for DOD. Our ombudsmen are an important liaison between the commands and the families. They're getting that information out there. And from our perspective in work life, what we do is we have a ombudsman coordinator, Mr. Kenneth Weber, who's the one for this particular district. And Mr. Weber ensures that we get all that information out to the spouses, out to the ombudsman, anything that may be happening in the command. Also, whenever we have hurricanes or bad weather or any other type of natural disaster, our ombudsman coordinator makes sure he gets that information out to the ombudsman so that the ombudsman can get it out to the spouses. Another of our programs is our family resources. Our family resource specialist manages the special needs program. For those of you from DOD, that's essentially the same program as the Exceptional Family Member Program. A special needs program is a program that's set up so that any family member who has a medical, educational, or psychological special needs, they are only sent to places where they can get those needs met. It's a mandatory program our service members enroll, and when it's time for them to get orders, that's looked at to see where, what billets are available for them so they can make sure those family members are going to the right locations. Another of our programs is the Family Advocacy Program. That is pretty much a prevention program for domestic abuse, child abuse, spouse abuse. They do a lot of education as far as teaching our spouses and our service members exactly what abuse looks like and ways to prevent it, and they promote resources that are available in the community. Our Employee Assistance Program is kind of like for DOD, their counseling program. And the Coast Guard, we don't do in family work life, we don't do counseling per se, but our EAP is there to help those situations that come up, acute care, suicide prevention. When our service members have to go respond to different types of emergencies, they're there to help them when they come back, to help them come back to some type of normalcy. So she does all types of acute care. Like I said, it's something that's just happening right then and there as far as mental health goes. Our Employee Assistance Program coordinator is also the one to go to for mental health resources that are out in the community. Then we have our Sexual Assault Prevention, Response, and Recovery Program. We have a SARC, and we have a military victim advocate, as well as victim advocates who are in the military, who are stationed at units throughout the district. And the SAPRA program also is there to do education to help prevent incidents from occurring, but they're there to help victims of sexual assault. We have our Transition, Relocation, and SEEK program. So in addition to managing the transition assistance program, so when service members are ready to retire or separate from the Coast Guard or the military in general, they do a week-long class. They bring in VA, Department of Labor, and they have them speak to the service members and their spouses when they're getting out, so that they can get a realistic understanding of what it's going to be like to be out of the military. Help them see how to do job searches, how to prepare for interviews, and just a million resources are given to them during that class. But our transition and relocation managers also help spouses with job searches. They don't do resumes, but they can look over a resume. They have resources of jobs that are available in the community. And they also can help with job interview skills, anything to kind of help you get out there, especially when we're relocating to new areas. It's always kind of difficult to find a new job. So the transition relocation specialist is a good resource for you. And last but not least, we have our personal financial management program. And our personal financial manager is there to help with budgeting. If you're getting ready to buy a home or a car, they can help you look at different things like that. They also put out education on different scams that may be out in the community. Our service members that are coming in now are part of the blended retirement system. So they provide education on the blended retirement system, TSP, investing. But what's most important is I want to make sure everyone is aware is that these services are not just there for the service members, but they are there for the family members as well. And even though Coast Guard does not have like a central facility on a base like DOD does, we're kind of spread out, we are still available. You can always reach out to one of our offices, and we can help you virtually on the telephone. If we're close enough to you, we'll get to you. Here in the Southeast District, we have 4 locations. We have an office in Charleston, South Carolina, Miami Beach, Florida, Clearwater, Florida, and San Juan, Puerto Rico. But even if you're someplace else in the district, we can make sure that we get you the assistance that you need.
Thank you, Andrea, for sharing those resources, especially the transition and relocation resource. As a military spouse, we know employment sometimes is hard to find, so that's a really great resource to reach out and get connected. And I'm going to really quickly show the next slide that you had. And it's a little small, but did you want to go and talk about these as well?
Yes. So, like I said, we are full of resources, and especially our employee assistance program managers provides resources on mental health. Sometimes with TRICARE, especially because often Coast Guard members are in remote locations, we're not by large military treatment facilities, and so it's hard to get out there and get those mental health resources. So, some of the resources that are available, of course, is the Veterans Crisis Line. That is a suicide prevention line that is not just there for veterans. There's a particular prompt for veterans, but the suicide prevention line is there for everyone. We have Steve Cohen. We have Talkspace, we have Telemind, and Telemind is a part of TRICARE. It is paid for by TRICARE. And then, of course, we have Miss Rashida Good, who is our EAP. And so I don't know if you can see those, but all of those contact emails and phone numbers are listed there on that. And I've also provided our brochure, so I don't know if we can drop that in the chat or not.
Yes, we definitely will add those to our media center in the neighborhood, and we'll see if we can add the picture to the comment section later as well. Well, thank you so much for sharing those resources. So now we can get to the fun part of the conversation is the questions to our expert, if that's okay. Perfect. Okay. So I know you mentioned of all the vast majority of programs that you have, but are there any type of programs or resources that Coast Guard families often overlook or don't realize that they're eligible for?
Absolutely. First of all, I would say all of those programs. Going specifically to our transition and relocation program, like I said, they have connections with the community. When you are relocating to an area and you're interested in looking for, spouses are interested in looking for employment, they are there to help you see where to look for it. Like I said, how to do resumes, how to interview. Another one of those programs I think that's often overlooked is for our family resource specialist. Our family resource specialist not only manages the special needs program, but they also can give you information on scholarships that are available, different opportunities that may be available to spouses, like getting your credentials transferred from one state to another state. They have information on child care assistance. And if you are enrolled in the special needs program or EFMP program, they have information on other resources that may be available, like respite care, which is child care that gives that primary parent kind of a break. If you have a special needs child, you may need to be with them, 24/7. So we all need a little bit of time to ourselves. So there's that respite care that's available. There's also a program called ECHO for those families who have a member enrolled in the special needs program. And what ECHO does is pays for those non-durable items that TRICARE doesn't pay for, like helmets, wheelchairs, things like that. So we have a lot that's available. So I would say just reach out to your work life office and just talk to any one of the specialists. Ask some questions. They can provide you some information. Yeah, that's what we're there for.
Very nice. And I know we are going to share in the media center for the Southeast District how to contact the work-life representatives. But if they're not in the Southeast District, how would they go about finding their work-life representative?
So the work-life supervisor, all of our information is listed online. Whatever district you're going to, you can Google online work-life for that district, and it will give you the supervisor as well as many of the specialists.
Very nice.
Also, if you're here and you're transferring someplace else, you can give us a call and we'll give you that person's phone number.
Okay, perfect. All right. And then, so as myself, I'm literally packing up my house. What kind of specific support is available during a PCS move?
A couple different things. So once again, with our transition and relocation specialist, they can help you get information on the area that you're transferring to.
Mhm.
They can put you in touch with the housing office there. They can also put you in touch with the transition and relocation person who is there, who can help you when you get there. The ombudsman, we can put you in touch with the ombudsman at that location where you're going to. Also, CGMA. CGMA, we don't really manage CGMA, Coast Guard Mutual Assistance, but we can get you the information for them. But CGMA has a specific program just for PCS. First of all, they have checklists, all kinds of information for you. And then sometimes when we PCS, there's a financial burden there. And so they offer assistance with getting over some of those hurdles.
Yes, no, they certainly do. I just saw that they have a child care grant available for PCS up to 3 children, $150 each. So it's a huge financial help to our families who need a little help watching their kiddos during the move. Okay, and so as far as I know, you mentioned Talent is a partnered with the Coast Guard. Could you walk us through the process for getting counseling or mental health services, whether that route or via another route?
Right. Well, Telemine is real simple. You just call the number, and the feedback that we've received is that they are very responsive. They can usually get you appointments in this area. I can only speak for this area. They can usually get you appointments in this area within the next week. And that's individual, couples, family therapy. So, yes, those services are available. And like I said, if you call me or our employee assistance program specialist, you can kind of give her or myself an idea of what it is you're looking for. And then we can pull together some resources for the area where you are. We have resources that are specific to the areas, like I said, because we cover such a large area. So you may be over in the Clearwater area, you may be up in Jacksonville. And so we will have information specific to those areas. You can give us a call. Of course, that's after you've already exhausted TRICARE or CG support, which is transferring to Military One Source, is also an option.
Very nice. Yeah, many families don't realize that they have access to confidential, no-cost counseling services, and it's really an important benefit. So, and then as far as childcare resources available for families, do you have any insight into that process as well?
Well, if you are by a military installation, of course, then there are the CDCs, the Child Development Centers, that are available to our Coast Guard members. Remember that everyone's trying to get into those centers, so there is priority given, of course, to dual military or single military. But then the next category would be a military person who has a spouse that's working. So that's one option. But then our family resource specialists can put you in touch with school liaison officers, but they also have information on local child care facilities or ones that may be under the program with CDC. And we don't have a lot of the home programs in this particular area, but some of the other districts do. But there is a grant, well, not like a grant, it's a subsidized program that is available to families. And what it does is it tries to make up the difference. If you have to go to get childcare out in town, it kind of covers the difference between what you would pay if you were able to go to a CDC on the base versus what you're having to pay out in town. And that application goes through CGMA, but our family resource specialist can give you some information on it.
Very nice. Yes, I've actually gotten to use that resource, the MYCCN, and they're really great. They have a message center on their website, and they're really great about responding and explaining how the process works. So, great benefit for families with who need childcare.
Absolutely.
And then as far as financial assistance goes as well, I know you mentioned a little bit about CGMA for emergencies or unexpected costs. Is that the only resource that you would recommend, or is there another one?
Well, first of all, with CGMA, they have resources for everything. A lot of people don't know they have a layette program if you have a new baby. So it's kind of like a little bundle or a little basket of items to get you started with a new baby. They have many other grants. For most of our programs, there's some type of assistance that they may offer. And then, like we mentioned, also there's PCS. And then sometimes people are just having general financial um, problems. And so they can help there. They'll usually ask you to go to the PFM to sit down and do a budget. And our PFM can sit down and do a budget like if you're PCSing and where you're moving to may be a higher cost of living than where you're at right now. So he can sit down, help you look at what the pay for the service member is going to be in that new area versus what it is right now. So you can get an idea of what your expenses are going to be like. Maybe the rent is going to be higher there. And for those of us that live in South Florida, it's so expensive to live down here. And so sitting down with the financial manager just to go over those different things is it's a great benefit. I've sat down with them myself, so it's a great benefit.
Very nice. Yeah, it never hurts to budget, especially when you're PCSing to a new area.
Right.
Very nice. And then especially for Coast Guard spouses, what is the support is available to them in terms of employment and education?
All right. So different, like I said, our transition specialist can help you with that. And we also, there is assistance to get, like I said, certifications transferred. Like if you're a teacher or a nurse, you can get your credentials transferred. Our family resource specialist can give you all the information on how to go about doing that. There is also a grant for you to go to school to get degrees. The amount keeps changing. Last I heard, it was a couple $1,000s. So I can't speak definitively on that, but our family resource specialist can help you with that. They also have information on scholarships that are available for spouses as well as service members and for dependent children. So yeah, you just have to give us a call, sit down and have a conversation and just find out what's out there. I mean, there's just like too much for me to list of everything that we do or the resources that we have out in the community.
No, it's very nice to hear that there's lots of options. Just got to connect with you and the work-life office. And specifically for our exceptional family member program cases, would they reach out to you specifically for help, or the family resource specialist? What would be their first steps?
The family resource specialist, our family resource specialist for the Southeast District is the same person who's our ombudsman coordinator, Mr. Ken Weber. His email is kenneth.m.weber with one B at USCG.mil. And he can sit down and go over the program with you. First, kind of have a conversation, see if you're going to be eligible for the program, get you the application, get that submitted, and help you go from there. Also, when it's time to PCS, many service members will call and talk to him to get him to kind of take a look at where you're going to make sure that's a place that is going to be able to provide those services.
Yeah, no, that's super important. And definitely he's a great contact to have here.
Yes, Ken is. Yeah.
He's got a pocket full of knowledge. Well, okay, perfect. And then as far as access, what's the best way if somebody is in a remote area or at a small boat station to get access to information? How would they do that?
Give us a call. Like I said, that brochure is going to have all of the emails and phone numbers for all of our specialists. If you ever have trouble reaching someone, give me a call. Many of us are on call 24 hours a day for whatever type of emergencies come up. But all of our program specialists try to get out to all of the areas, including the remote areas, at least twice a year. So, we try to make sure that everyone knows when they're coming out there. So if you want to set up an appointment to meet with one of them, we can have that arranged. But I would say just contact whatever you think the specialist that you think that you would need, contact them. And if they're not the one that you need, they'll put you in contact with who you need to speak to.
Perfect. That's great to hear. Well, I'm glad our people in our remote stations, as I kind of explained to you earlier, I was a little unfortunate, and that was my first station, was a small boat station, and didn't really know how to navigate these resources and didn't know that you all existed. So I'm hoping we can get the word out more about the work-life offices and family resource specialists to help our Coast Guard members.
I appreciate that.
And just want to say again, we're super grateful for you being here today. It's been a tremendous effort to get you here, and we're thrilled that you were able to answer all of our questions. And we're hoping, even if people weren't able to attend live today, that they'll be able to watch it later and chat in those questions, and we'll try to follow up. And so, as we're wrapping up, what's next for you, Andrea? And is there any way we could support you moving forward with your career?
I believe that I'm probably going to be staying here for a while. Like I said, I've been doing this for over 20 years between DOD and Coast Guard. Love what I do, but I'll probably be staying here. But what I recommend everyone do is take advantage of these programs. Find out what's out there. If you're interested in working in work-life programs, give us a call, talk to us about that. We're always looking to fill our vacant positions. So yeah, just keep spreading the word. That's all I can ask.
Very nice. Yeah, and it's an amazing position. I definitely feel like it really is a joy to be able to spread information that only helps people. So I hope we get more people to do the same job like you.
Absolutely.
So there was a couple questions really quickly in the comment that said, are there services from any location? And I think, Andrea, you mentioned that any station you're at in the U.S., you can definitely reach out to your regional work-life office. Is that correct?
Right, right. And as far as being a new spouse to the Coast Guard, if you reach out to the Family Resource Specialist, he can give you information in a booklet, which is now digital, called Sea Legs. Sea Legs is like great information. It gives new family members information on rank structure, pay, about PCS, what the military is all about. It's great information just to kind of get you started so you can understand what it's all like, what Coast Guard life is all about. But then I would say reach out to the ombudsman. If your unit doesn't have an ombudsman, reach out to the ombudsman coordinator so they can put you in contact with another ombudsman, and then meet the other spouses that are in your unit.
Those are all great tips. Thank you. And thank you, Maria, for that question. And thank you, London, from calling in from Jersey. So I'm glad to have some people here in our live feed. And thank you again, Andrea. And we're going to go ahead and say goodbye to everybody. And thank you, everybody, for joining us. And we will see you in the neighborhood.
Thank you so much for having me. Bye.